Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmaracharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om. Om Shanti 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 Namaste. So we are seeing the passage in which there is Ishvara present itself as among so many compounds. The idea is he's the totality of all compounds, right, Lynn? Yeah. After having picked several different vibhutis, glories such as the ocean, the peak, this mountain, that mountain, Ganges River, the beautiful river, and so on. Now he was talking about the letters, and then he said, among the letters, I am the and among the compounds, I am the totality of compounds. Let's say, huh? So the resolution of compound is one of the beautiful exercises we have in Sanskrit grammar. Okay, I don't want to learn Sanskrit. I'm too old for that. Like that, Sanskrit can have innumerable compounds, therefore Krishna does not want to leave it out. So among compounds, there is a particular type of compound called Jivandva, Samasa. I do not want to get into the details of what it means, because we would have to go into a grammar class. Thank you, Swamiji, to spare us from that. Therefore, I'm releasing you from that pain. Good. But Krishna says, I'm Jivanda compound among the compounds. So I'm the Kala Tattvam, which puts an end to everything. That's better, Swamiji, but which itself does not have an end. So I am that principle called time, which puts an end to everything, but which itself does not have an end. Yeah. So if there is a principle called time, time is a very difficult principle to be understood. But we know that there is such a thing as time. Some people say, oh, it's just an illusion because there is only now, yes. But in Nietzsche, everything is an illusion, including yourself, who is saying that, time is an illusion. So time, of course, if it is that which is putting an end, create a beginning, a middle, an end to everything, this principle must be free and independent from the time itself. It should be beginningless principle, and then things become even more philosophical. So how can time, which is a principle that somehow unfolds or derives from space, how can time, which is in that sense beginningless, outside of the time, outside of space, it gets confusing. So therefore, Akasha, Kalaha means inexhaustible time. Everything else gets exhausted in time, but time itself is free from an end. It's working potentially. Everything is being resolved in time. Time just collects or resolves everything back into, let's say, the gunas or the basic elements. Because of the continuity of this principle called color, we get another cycle of creation again and again, the same way we get another cycle of rebirth. Therefore, Krishna says, I am the Kalan Tattva, which is inexhaustible. I am Aksayaha, Kalan, Akashayaha, Kalan. So what is Akasha? Akashaha? Space? Oh,
It eludes me. Sounds like space-time, but
but no. It's just I am the very difficult principle called column that even the most intelligent philosophers cannot get a finger upon it.
It means imperishable, eternal.
Imperishable. Okay. Yeah, imperishable. Beginningless. So dataham. Data means karma palan data. So I'm the one who delivers, who brings to you the results, the palams of your attitude, words, and deeds. So the one who gives appropriate result for appropriate actions to the appropriate person at that appropriate time. What is the meaning of the word appropriate?
Right, fitting,
Yeah, proper, no?
proper. Yeah.
Yeah, because in this sense, we should consider that I am the one who delivers appropriate result, unappropriate result for appropriate actions, unappropriate actions to the appropriate person or as well unappropriate person at the appropriate time. Appropriate time we don't change. We're gonna deliver punya and papa to everybody because Ishvara's system is a cosmic intelligence. We can put it in terms of a computer, not subject to error or viruses, which will never be struck by any virus, and a computer made out of pure sattvaguna, which has got the knowledge to hold all records, the records of all jivas, including jivas from the animal and vegetal reigns, living beings as well as devas, asuras. Everything I have got the records without having to make any calculation. I hold in this intelligent system, this perfect system within myself because my nature is supreme knowledge, total knowledge. And not only the knowledge, it has to be also uh, in respect to the timing. You know, time is everything, as some people used to say in the USA. Maybe they still say timing is very important. So we need to take this challenge as a human being to provide our words and actions, hoping that they are in a timing positive or best possible manner, and then and it should be the best possible response so that we can get really appropriate good results. Therefore, aham karma palam. I am the one who gives the results to everyone's actions. I am the datta, asmi, also the giver of all of that, and I am the ordainer. I am the architect and the sustainer, the ordainer. It's unbelievable. I mean, Ishwara is quite something. I don't know. I mean, it's somehow, I think what most me pulled towards Vedanta was the way it somehow uh, construct this Ishwara as the supreme intelligence, the supreme knowledge. Oh, but it's not real. It's mithya, yes, but it's amazing. And it needs to be seen as an amazing, intelligent principle so that we can develop a proper attitude towards the miracle of life, well, which was presented to us for, oh, you know what, to come here, ask, are you sure you don't want to come here? There is an intelligent power behind. Nobody's brought here unless you want it so much. So you are here and you brought here your bag of vasanas, of punya pap, and then you got the proper life circumstance, parents, family, culture, to facilitate more of what I often describe as Vasana processing, Punya Papa processing. You're processing your vasanas, your Punya Papas. Try to make some sense of this human experience and grow. Therefore, I'm this supreme ordainer and intelligence must have a face turned to all directions. I cannot miss anything. Of course, this is all symbolism. I have to see who is doing what karma. Like poor Ishwara cannot even sleep because he cannot miss anything. So, no, it is a system. It's not a person. It's not a super jiva, as James used to put. So I observe all the karmas of all people. I register them and give the result at the appropriate time. So everything that comes to Ishvara, that refers to Ishvara, is appropriate. The jiva is another matter. The jiva is quite difficult to live an appropriate life, proper life, doing proper actions, with proper attitude in a proper time. But that is the challenge somehow of coming down here again. So my intelligence, my supreme intelligence, is as if direct to all corners of the cosmos, not missing a single movement or action that is impact the totality. Even events such as cataclysms or any kind of object, celestial bodies of moving, and it's impacting, and then it's all of that is cause and effect. All of that is kept as well within this supreme intelligence, because this intelligence is going to present an effect which is absolutely in harmony with the cause, the previous cause. Something, oh, but no, it was not fair. The planet was burned away by an asteroid. So that as well is Prabhupada designed intelligently for all living creatures. Right, Lynn?
It reminds me of that phrase, I think from, I don't know, first or second chapter, the wise grieve not for the living or the dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Well remind. So let's see. And then he goes into another subject, which is very beautiful. He say, I am death. I am the destroyer of everything. Before he was putting color as the destroyer or the killer, or that which brings to end anything that is construct needs to be construct and brought back to the gunas or to the element. Here he's presenting as the very, very fearful entity that's going to kill us, destroy us. I destroy everything. And then he says, I am also the source of future prosperity. So I destroy everything. And then Maya and Ishwara, are going to project everything again. And then my power of destroying everything comes again and then destroys. And then again, I am the source for future nice startings, beginnings, new beginnings, prosperity now, and then everything is flowering. Among women, I am fame, prosperity. So we're gonna see why what this women is doing here. Speech, memory, intelligence, fortitude, and patience, they are also my glories, my vibhutis, the ability to speak, the memory, the intellectual faculty, and perseverance, fortitude, patience, consistence, persistence, as Swami says. Everything, any aspect of this creation is a symbol of myself. all of these objects, such as a physical moon, I don't know, that in the certain time of the year, of the months, and presents itself reflecting the sun in such a beautiful and glorious way. All these physical manifestations are symbols of my glory. And not only that, several other objects which belong to the subtle world, they are also symbols of my glory, everything. So if you speak, that is a glory. So, you woke up in the morning, you are thinking again, your intellect still working. So give thanks to the Lord. So I like to in the morning. Yeah, sometimes I just step out and I forget this detail, but more often than not, when I wake up in the morning, regardless of having a little pain here, a little pain there, you just you just remember, I'm still here, I'm still alive. So Ishvara is giving me another day for whatsoever reason, only Ishvara knows. Huh? And then very soon I'm going to make my cafe latte that gives me so much pleasure with coconut milk and coconut butter as well. So if I speak, it's good and it's a gift, and I should say thanks, Ishwara. If my memory and my intellect, my intelligence is still running, I say, hey, Ishwara, one more day, enjoy your glory, yours. Fortitude, oh Ishwara, I'm still going. I have still that power, that fortitude that allows people to accomplish things in lives, and the ultimate accomplishment is spiritual growth. And for that, we need also trust in you and patience, because we know that there is a time involved in regards to the fruits, bearing the fruits of our actions, the pollen. So here the death, according to Swamiji, is presented more in terms of a robber. Just imagine the greatest possible robber. In Sanskrit, Aham Sarvahana Raham Murtiyuhu as me. So I am the greatest robber. Yeah? The verse here, the literal translation is presenting as a destroyer, killer of everything. But it seems that the connotation is more in terms of the greatest robber who will take away everything from all jivas. Anything that we gain here is taking away from us at the time of our departure. A robber may take away so much of the thing, but Kala is one which snatched everything from it. And then he brought back the Kalan, the time, as the ultimate robber. So Kalan here is synonymous of this greatest possible robber or destroyer. It's all about Kalan. So a robber may take away everything, but the Lord Kalan, snatches everything from each one of us. We can never carry anything besides when we give away, it's rather take away our body, but we have to, I play a lot around this topic because at the time of departure, we see the wisdom or unwisdom of the person. So at the time of dropping the physical body behind, you know, we should know that this is the most primordial law in creation. Everything that is construct is deconstruct. And if you lived a beautiful life, if you really did your best, and then you cannot avoid old age, illness, and death. But at the time of death, you should not fight with Suarez. Hold on to everything. Hold on to your body. I say, no, you are not going to take it from me. You just say like, yes, Ishwara, I know. I understood. It's all yours. Take it all back to the gunas, to the elements, you know? This is just a role in this duality that I play, the game. So I don't need to hold on to anything when we leave. Therefore, such a Yanni would most probably, if he is not unconscious, leave the body with a smile in his face or her face. You know, I play with my students in Portuguese language. When my time is approaching, I'm going to ask some of them to come to make sure of what kind of facial expression I have, if I'm gonna have a smile or not. And then later on, they send me an email to let me know. But I hope I'm gonna leave the body with a smile of gratitude, you know, and peace. There is a beautiful verse from says very rare instance here when he say a beautiful sloka. I forget this sloka, but it's something about drop all your property at home, all the relations. And when you are living, the properties is at home, and the relations, everything come up to hold on to you or to ask you to hold on to them, something like that. Okay. So, but what caught my attention is Swami forgetting the details of a certain verse from somewhere, you know. So most probably popped in his mind at the time of delivery, not before. Otherwise, he would get the reference, you know. And all the relations come up to 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 claim you as don't go, you know, don't leave us here. And so, like that one is there in such. So one by one drop, and you are left. You when you leave the body, you cannot carry your associations. You cannot carry associations you have in relation to the body mind. If you leave the body, you are just a mind. You're gonna carry some memories of such and attachments, mental attachments to those objects. But that does not prevent you from having your body taken away from you due to your karma. It's time to let it go. Oh, but I will have only 25. Yes, yeah. Just trust the Lord. Okay, that's what it is. What you carry, there is only one thing that we carry, and this is a very nice, clear, simple, obvious insight here. So what do we carry with us? Our punya papam, our vasanas, our attachments, our desires, our fears, yeah? our our ragas, dveshas, everything that is going to produce another birth. But how about someone who does not want another birth? It means to say, I don't have desires anymore. Somehow the desires were burned in the fire of self-inquiry and self-knowledge in the light of the scriptures. So if the Ragadavesha are burned while we're still here, so it seems that you don't have any more punya papa to take with you. That's the concept as you stay here even after self-knowledge until you exhaust your parabada, you know, your punya papa. So suppose you exhaust your punya papa, you know, and then you have no punya papa to carry with you, but most people live taking with the individual soul only once Vasana load, Punya Papa, Raga Dvesha. Everything else is taken away from us. Therefore, Murtyuhu, Yama Dharma Raja is called Sarvaharaha, the one who takes away everything from us. So this is the the gods of of death, you know. So when they knock at our door, we have to see. We should not scare us. You know, it should just be like, okay, so oh, time is over. Okay, oh, it's okay, whatever. I'm enjoy my play, but time is over. Okay, time is over, right? That's why they tell this story. A person had a challenge, a competition, and then Swami tells this story here. There is a competition, a king or someone offered, you start running from here. You can go any direction. And everything you run, try to close as a circle. And that area is going to belong to you. It belongs to you. You know, and we are mapping up everything. So you, whatsoever direction, just come back to the departing point so that all the entire area is going to be your property. And then someone got very, very, how you say, greedy and start running. The whole competition began at 6 a.m. and the person was running, no stop. No? And then he got so greedy that he overdid it. And then in the very, very end, after having covered a huge area, uh, and then he was all a little bit more, this side, that side, and then he just, at arrival, he fell down and died. So, very sad story, but it describes the life of most jivas, né? Running to gain, to maintain, and to avoid. And howsoever the balance sheet we have at the end, you know, we fall dead because we have exhausted our energies running to gain, maintain, and avoid. What a wasteful life. Moved by my rugged adventures, I just went round and round and round in the samsara. And in the end, I died absolutely unsatisfied, incomplete, you know, and I will need to begin the game again, and I will bring with me my desires and aversions again. Another chance if you elect to be born again as a human being. So what happens to all the properties that the poor fellow who died, you know? So when Yamadharma Raja takes away at the time of departure, Krishna says, I am that Yamadharma Raja, the destroyer, the robber. Samhara Tattvan also. What is Samhara, Lin?
This would be the principle of dissolution.
Okay. And I am Udbhava, the resource or source of all future prosperity, the future wealth. Meaning to say, so in the micro level, not the individual soul leaves the body. Oh, but I have done so well. I have got so many assets and money and here and there. And so how am I going to take it with me so that I can come back with all my assets again? And then it said that, don't worry, I am the Udbhavaha. I am the resource, or the source of all future prosperity, of future wealth. So, if I developed a big vasana for acquiring prosperity and wealth, and and the security, the relative security, so somehow that is an accomplishment, material accomplishment that somehow is kept in the mind, in the causal body. It's there. I am the future wealth of my future body mind sense complex. So it remains there. Nothing is lost. Huh? So in the individual and in the macrocosm as well. So in the macro, I am the source from where the future development and prosperity and the future wealth of the jivas, human jivas, come from. So everything comes from me. And likewise, every human being dies with whatsoever, impressions, and which includes skills, abilities and desires and fears and so on. So that comes back with us. So if you have to produce anything in the future, know that I will keep those potentials there in your vasana load. And know that it's not coming from you because you can never generate anything. The provision comes from me, says Lord Krishna. The provision is not only coming from me, is my nature manifest as a provision of a certain potential or propensity for certain talents or certain accomplishments in your next birth. Therefore, Udbhavaha means I am the source or I am the womb of all future beings, of all future prosperities, looking at things positive, but I am the womb and the source of all future bankruptcies and destruction of wealth and so on. So let's see what Shankaracharya tells. Bhavi Lakyananam Nam Aham Upati Stana. So translating,
The place,
okay,
the origin of good fortune, future good fortune.
yeah. So those symbols they usually they present in a positive manner to inspire people to develop the interest to understand the nature of Ishvara. So and then he changed the subject. He's gonna talk about different devatas. It says here, because in the verse says I'm women, and I was wondering what is this women deal here. And then Swami comes and start talking about female devatas. He says that that refers to female devatas as naris, and we have got devatas presiding over various things. And as I said, we have got Lakshmi Devi preside over wealth. We have got Saraswati Devi presiding all over knowledge, for example. So we have got another female Devata, Parvati, presiding over Shakti. Those who have got preside deities, and they are generally called as Adhisthana Devata. And not only we have got Adhisthana Devata and not only we have got Adhisthana Devata for these things, but we get Adhisthana Devata for everything. I think that's what Swami means. In fact, anything in the creation has got Adhisthana Devata. Adhisthana, you remember, Ishvara is, or Brahman is the Adhisthana of the entire, the support, that which holds. Adhisthana is as well that principle that sustains every one of these symbols of the Lord, such as prosperity and many others. So we have this deity symbolizing the supreme intelligence, manifest as laws and principles which relate to certain desirable accomplishments in the mind of human jivas. So if in fact anything in the creation that is going to provide you a desire for accomplishment is going to be maintained or managed by certain laws and principles. Okay, these laws and principles are my very nature. They are supporting, they are maintaining, and know that everything is so intelligently designed that there is nothing that is happening not within this supreme structure designed so intelligently. So in the India culture, it's said to be devatas. Laws and principles are devatas, you know. The river and the peaks of the mountains, they are devatas. Everything in the universe is devata. Why? Because their people begin developing more often than not the vision of Ishvara as Virat, the totality of the physical material universe, as well the subtle world of thoughts, concepts, emotions, feelings, desires and fears. So everything, every expression of life, any object, dense or subtle, has got this intelligence managing, yeah, this this very object managing how so by laws and principles. Why we have like this? Because anything in the creation is governed by law and laws and principles of creation. If you take the earth in general, earth is governed by so many laws, physical laws, chemical laws. uh, because of those laws, earth is going around its own axis, and Earth is going round the sun also. There are laws governing and harmonizing, no? Everything. That means that Earth is governed by infinite numbers of universal laws. So this in the macro, now everything is somehow designed so intelligently. Similarly, every organ of ours is governed by so many laws and principles. Thunder, the lightning in the skies, the law of gravitation is a principle. Anything you mention within creation is governed by inexorable laws, and those laws, they are all within the Supreme Lord, the total omniscient Lord, total intelligence. And if those laws are functioning, it's only because of this total intelligence principle governing all the laws. So now we are getting the picture. Now everything that manifests here manifests within this intelligently designed structure, which is held together by laws and principles. And these laws and principles, they are seen as devas or devis, in the Indian culture, the pranas and whatsoever, you see as vibhutis, the glory of the Lord. Because any law can function perfectly only when there is a governing principle. And that's why whenever even the local government introduced a law, he introduced an officer or, and more than one officers sometimes to take care of those laws. So there is a traffic law. In the past there wasn't, but then they understood. And so in the society, human beings said, no, we need to create some laws because now that we create the cars, things are getting a little bit messy. So let's create some laws, traffic laws. And then, okay, so you can create some traffic laws, but you need to put some officers there because people, human jiva do not like laws. They are going to need to be policed. Only then the law will be maintained because otherwise, any law can exist only if there is a governing principle, intelligent principle, meaning to say people such as traffic police and so on. Therefore, any object in creation, physical and subtle, is governed by laws, and any law is governed by an intelligent principle And when you add it together, any object such as the law of traffic, when you add those things together and the intelligent principle behind the law of traffic, when you would it together, when you add it together, you're going to come to the intelligent principle that presides over this law of traffic. Okay, there is always an intelligence principle behind. Okay, in the micro and in the macro, so it's all Ishwara. One has to go into steps from an object such as the law of traffic or traffic law to object law. One has to go from that law. So the laws that hold the traffic. So nowadays, a traffic, if you go into the laws involving traffics that change from place to place, some place you can drive, you should drive in the left lane. Some place, there are many things. Some place you can do certain things. So there are books and books. It's even difficult to get a driving license in Europe. People fail many times before they get it. Yeah, because there are so many laws and principles that needs to be known and observed. So we go from those laws and then we trace it back to what? To the intelligent governing principle, which is the law. Joining this together, we see every object is governed by this supporting glory or Adhisthana Devata. So now we are getting to the Vedic culture in which we have devatas, infinite numbers of devatas. Bhumi has got Bhumi Devata, Jala has got Jala Devata. As I told you that every alphabetic letter is associated with one Devata. Every organ in our subtle body, every instrument in our physical body is symbolized as a certain devata presiding that specific sense organ. If human beings invent any new thing, such as radio, and then here in India they say, so we call that radio as being presided by a certain deity or devata. And then they give a name to that devata, the intelligence. It bits and pieces of the supreme intelligence that is built into the system, and nobody creates that. You tap into that law and principle, and when you see, you are uncovering some things which refer to vibhutis of the Lord. Radio is functioning because of vibhuti of the Lord, because of its laws and principles and intelligence governing. That's called devata. And intelligent governed is called devata. So every devata is an aspect of the glory of the Ishvara, the Lord only. So bottom line, every devata in India is nothing but an aspect or a face, a facet of the Lord. It's one facet of this supreme intelligence, of this glory, which is fundamentally is the supreme knowledge and intelligence. Anything. That's why in India they have numberless devatas. So I'm saying, therefore, we have got devatas for everything. We have devatas for fame, name and fame, we say. That fame also is governed by certain principles and laws, So to gain nowadays, you cannot even talk like in the old days, because when you talk about fame, you say, so there are some laws and principles that have to be followed so that you become uh, a famous person, a person who is respected. Yeah. So but nowadays, no, you can become very famous for any stupid thing, and it does not require anybody to be ethical or understand morals or anything. Anybody can become famous because we are living through Kali Yuga. But anyhow, there are laws, and these laws for people who want to accomplish name and fame, prestige, and other things, they have some deities that they are going to worship to remove the obstacles between I, the Jiva, and my desire for name and fame. Because name and fame in the old days used to be relate to proper actions, dharmic actions, you know, and not just any stupid action as we see nowadays. So there are the
Sorry, I just looked up because I've been wondering who is the Devata for the ethical order, and that is supposedly Varuna.
Varuna.
Varuna is Varuna. Varuna is,
Varuna. Okay.
yeah, for the
Mm.
ethical source of truth.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. So fame also is governed by certain principles, and that deity presiding these principles and laws is called Kirti Devata. If you want to be famous, so get to know Mr. Kirti. Similarly, Vak Devata, and Swamiji did not translate. Have you?
This translates as, hold on, the goddess of speech, Saraswati, the beautiful mother of the three worlds, resides on the lotus-like face.
Thank you. Then memory. Memory is another faculty we have. A lot of people are losing it nowadays. Only God knows why, what we are doing wrong. But memory is another power faculty which is governed by certain laws and principles. There are some neurological laws as well in the physical brain, but there are some more subtle laws in the subtle body, on the mind. In the physical brain, to keep this example more tangible, if some of the neural connections fail, or if the wires are not properly connected, so you may begin losing memory, amnesia, among other things. In the old days was amnesia. Now they have other, how you say, diagnoses such as uh, Alzheimer's and dementia. So amnesia is a problem. Loss of memory is a problem. Never go to a doctor and alone to tell them that you are losing your memory, because he is going to ask you to pay in advance, because he is going to be afraid that you forget that he gave you the consultation, First payment fees. So memory is a very, very important faculty. Some people say, oh, no, it's not so bad because then I forget all my trouble. Yes, some people may look, but even people who lose this, the memory faculty, according to the experience that certain people who worked with older people who lost their memory. There are many reports, that people lose their memory due to some of these modern illnesses. And it says, okay, now all is good. Why? Because, that we have so many, most people live with a problematic mind. And the problem in mind is in reference to impressions of our past, experience of our past, that somehow we did not resolve them properly, conflicting impressions and so on. And that creates a certain mental agony or disturbance, you know. And then he say, oh my God, I want to sleep and sleep because when I sleep, I forget all my trouble. Uh, but people who get this disease, he not necessarily become a happy person because they forgot all the problems. Because where do the problems go? They go to the causal body. They go to the subconscious mind. And the person is going to still experience certain discomfort or agony and even strong reactions here and there without understanding, without properly processing anything, because those memories they reside as well in the causal body, those impressions. Yeah? So the memory is a very important faculty, but even more important than the memory, because we cannot do much in respect to the condition of our memory system, you know, especially if we are at, you know, over a certain age. But the intellect is even more important because using our discrimination, our discernment, you know, we can do something to sustain this body mind sense complex in a way that I may hold on to some of my memory and some of my Viveka Shakti and some of my my how you say, my prana's energetic body, and and I can enjoy a good life until my last year, my last days, you know, possibly. Memory power is the Lord. We need to give thanks to Ishwara every morning when we wake up, and then we say, oh, I am, and I know that I am, and I remember where I am at. I live in the central part of Brazil. I have been doing this and that. You know, I don't need anybody to to hold my hands and say me do this, do that. So Shwara, thank you. Okay. It's your blessing that I still can manage myself without being a burden to society, to others. So this supreme intelligence principle, we do not know how and why brains are so intelligent. Those, you know, people go into the science of neurology, try to understand. they they just see those signals of some connections fighting here and there, but they have a very little understanding of how something can be designed so intelligently. And then they go and they begin tripping that they are going to create an intelligent being artificially that is much more glorious and much more intelligent than God's creation, you know. We do not know how the brains work. Science does not know, but the new people now, they want to come and create artificial intelligence, which is nothing but data collectors processing such a speed, making artificial inference and giving us an impression of a super intelligent being, but it's deprived from a soul, deprived from real emotions, empathy, love, compassion, and self consciousness. So everything is called Devata except artificial intelligence, I would say. But everything comes from the Lord. So now in India, they are going to find a Devata to preside artificial intelligence. They say, no, it's artificial intelligence is artificial, as the name says, but we got a Devata there, but it's an artificial Devata. Don't worry. So we have got the Veda prayers direct to each one of these principles. Each one Meda Suktam, a special prayer for Meda Devi. Okay, what this Meda goes for? Meda Devata. What is the meaning of Meda Devata?
The day,
Any
yeah.
there is laws governing that Devata is called Meda Devata. What is Meda Devata? The Meda
The Devata of the mind.
of the mind. Thank you. Yeah, very nice. Meda Devi is very important, of course. Without that, we are just zombie-like individuals, like we see all over the planet nowadays, because they have a mind, but they somehow they lost it. And then he goes into another glory or symbol of this supreme knowledge, manifest a certain, you say, certain mental, emotional, physical qualities of the human jiva, you know. And here he's going into the sato because he's talking about the sato memory system, and then the mind and the intellect, you know. And but here the effort, the perseverance, the one who wants to play the game of life, not just shrinking afraid of failure, but one who just take a risk and lives life and continues to live life, doing its best, efforting to accomplish its desires, even in spite of consistent or repeated uh, failures. You know, life is about success and failures, as we know, in respect to many things, in respect with everything. And as Dayananda, I believe, said once, so the greatest possible accomplishment or success we have is the capacity to accept failure with gratitude in our hearts, you know, without feeling down or defeated or anything. You became so wise spiritually that you understood that the game of life is about successes and failures, and then you develop equanimity in respect to these opposite pairs among all opposite pairs, and then I take failure as well as success equanimously, something like that. Okay, so this is the ultimate success, the ability to take failure with gratitude and elegance. That capacity by which a person continues in spite of repeated failures, that capacity is called what? Resilience. Perseverance. Resilience is more to the point. To get up again after each fall, the rubber ball like resilience. You remember this analogy of the ball? Hmm? The rubber ball and then the clay ball and the wet clay ball, you know, is going to indicate what kind of character a Jiva has, you know. Here he brings the wet clay and he brings the same analogy. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you have enjoyed this satsang. The topic is more my cup of tea. I love to talk about that. That's which goes only to the physical body, because what we are is timeless conscious existence, the only reality. Hmm? Anything else?
So,
It's been very nice. Oh,
go ahead.
sorry, Lou. Okay, I
No,
was going to say, it's been very nice studying these last few chapters of the Gita, talking about the vibhutis of Ishvara. It's wonderful. It's given me a whole picture of Ishvara and the world around us and how
Yeah.
to interact with that. It's been very beautiful. Really
yeah,
It's
enjoyed it.
unbelievable. Very nice.
So,
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I'm going through this this transcription of Swamiji for the second time. The first was in Portuguese. It adds up more and more appreciation, love, gratitude, and understanding of the glory of the Lord. You know.
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
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 You're going to
So go
say,
ahead,
Lynn?
Lynn.
Just something on that same order that there is, this whole thing in America where everybody feels they're a victim. There are no victims here. There's nothing unjust. It's just a beautiful play of the laws of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, laws of nature and laws of karma. You know, everything is follows this structure. You know, of causality, cause and effect, karma, punya papa, uh, and so on.
Mm.
Okay, so we meet again next week. Today is Friday. Another weekend. They go so fast, huh?
Yeah.
They
They
fly.
do.
Yeah. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namaste. See you later, alligator.
Okay. In a while, crocodile. Okay.
Yeah, good. This is the good answer.
Okay. See you
Bye
on
bye.
Monday, Alan. Okay.
See
Bye
you.
now. Bye, Sylvia.